Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Not at the studio today. I'm off on a Thursday, but the Giants news coming out of joint practices. We got some injury news. Odell Beckham said some things about the New York Giants and kind of hinted at a return, maybe. We'll talk about that at the tail end of the show. So if you're an OBJ guy, stick around. Pretty cool stuff what he said. We'll talk about that. But we got injury news. We got joint practice news. We got some roster moves as well because it's been a busy day. Yesterday was an extremely busy day for the Giants. Injuries, Colin Johnson, they picked up players. They cut players. We'll talk about that in the tail end of the show. Let's start, though, with the injury news on Azeez Ojulari, because he did have to leave practice. He left during conditioning. The Giants were running sprints kind of 3/4 of the way through practice. A thing that Brian Dable has been doing a lot, running sprints more so during practice and then having the team come back and run some team drills to, stay fresh mentally, even though when you're tired physically. I like that mindset. I think it's a cool little touch. But Azeez Ojulari came up limping out of conditioning drills. Some people at first thought it was his hamstring because, he came into camp on the PUP list, Azeez did, off of it now. But it was his right foot. Limped to the bench, was around trainers. They were checking out his right foot. And he actually had to be helped by trainers at a practice. Trainer here under his right arm, under his left arm. And he's limping very slowly into the locker room. Art Stapleton said Azeez Ojulari just came up limping during Giants conditioning drills, was being checked out by the medical staff. Ojulari was leaning on two staffers to exit the building. A lot of Giants fans thought it was the worst because we've been kind of cursed a little bit so far this season through injuries. 7 of the 11 draft picks are injured. But Art Stapleton giving us kind of a glimmer of hope right here. He says, make no mistake, seeing one of your best defensive players needing assistance to leave the practice field like Azeez did is never a good thing. So we'll see what further exams show, but this is not believed to be as severe as the Colin Johnson Achilles injury. Yesterday doesn't sound like, he said, also went on to say, it doesn't sound like Ojulari's lower leg injury is as bad as it may have looked coming off the field. I'm sure tests will follow, but as of now, the hope is that it isn't as bad as it may have appeared. So that's a good thing. Kind of maybe dodged a bullet right there because it did not look good, him limping very slow to the locker room. The Giants, they need Azeez Ojulari. He looked really good in camp, coming off a season his rookie year with 8 sacks. I thought he was a guy that could make a huge leap, maybe be a double-digit sack guy. 11 sacks, 12 sacks. I thought Azeez was really going to have a good season in the Martindale defense. And now with Kayvon Thibodeau maybe missing week 1, week 2, we needed Ojulari there. Hopefully he can make it by week 1. I don't know. But what you guys should do is type 51 in the comment section right now. Let's show Azeez Ojulari some love. Hopefully the injury isn't as bad as it looked like Art Stapleton just mentioned a second ago. So let's get the good vibes rolling. Let's show Azeez some love. Big Blue's got his back. Type 51 in the comment section. And also, this is why you subscribe. If you're coming across a Giants video for the first time and you're wondering what we do here, we break down news and rumors. No matter if we're off, if we're at the studio, we're out on the golf course, we get you guys a video. When news breaks, breaking news, whatever it is, we get you guys a video. Rumors come out, we get you guys a video. We go live twice a week. We're live for every single game of the season. A watch party, it's fun. We kick back some beers. Take some shots. It's a good time. It's a party. So subscribe. Help Giants Now get to 11,000 subscribers. We're about 200 away. We should get there really soon, and I want you to be a part of it. Hit that big red button. So outside of Azeez Ojulari being hurt at practice, it was pretty much a good day for the Giants overall in their joint practices with the New York Jets. And this is something that the Giants and Jets have done before in the past pretty frequently. It always seems to get a little bit edgy when you got the Jets and the Giants. Sterling Shepard made a comment yesterday about it's like, who's going to be the guy that's going to make the other team their little brother? And there's definitely a little bit of a rivalry there. But for the most part, the offense looked really good. Daniel Jones had a really good day. Let me pull up the stats here. I think he was 14 for 15. I'll get the stats here exactly. 14 for 16. Some people had him 14 for 15. Jordan Renan of ESPN said, really strong day for Daniel Jones. He went 14 of 15 passing the football in live 11 on 11 drills. Couple were likely sacks, but still looked comfortable in the new offense. He said there was again a natural connection with David Sills. Sills Army, stand up. You can type 13 in the comments or Sills Army if you're rocking with David Sills. He said he caught 6 passes. He's really making a run at a significant role. And I kind of want to focus on Daniel Jones and David Sills right here. Daniel Jones did have an interception. He was targeting Kenny Golladay on a fade route. It still doesn't seem like Golladay and Jones have that connection. Whereas when you watch, when David Sills comes into the ball game, there's an immediate connection between him and DJ. They're really good friends. That's noted. They hang outside of the game. They're not just friends because they're teammates. They're legit friends. They're dudes. They're guys. And that connection translates to the football field. Sometimes the biggest battle of being in sync with the wide receiver, you got to just go through those tough reps because you have to mentally be on the same page. And I think that David Sills and Daniel Jones are. And I think Sills has an opportunity not just to make this roster, but to be getting snaps and reps in the regular season. And Jordan Renan said that in his article. He said there was, again, a natural connection with David Sills. He caught 6 passes. He's really making a run at a significant role. And I think with the Colin Johnson injury, him being done for the season, I think the Giants want to replace a big-bodied receiver with another big-bodied receiver in David Sills. He has the chemistry. He's a hard worker. He's a guy that has good connection with Daniel Jones. And if you're trying to maximize the potential of Daniel Jones, you should be doing everything you can to make him most comfortable. And if adding a guy like David Sills on the outside makes number 8 a better football player and he can produce, that's someone that's worth one of your 53 roster spots on this football team. I like what I've seen from Sills. He looked really good in the ball game against the Bengals, had a couple of catches. I think he's got a chance to make this roster, especially with Colin Johnson most likely being out for the season. Emery Hunt, a beat reporter for the Giants, he said, so far, I like what he said. He said, so far I've seen this Giants offense versus 3 different defenses. And each time the offense looks more efficient and effective versus them as opposed to their own defense. He said, the game seems less chaotic for them, allowing them to move the football with ease. Wink Martindale's challenging the offense in practice is yielding good results against other defenses. And that's something you like to hear and see from someone on the outside looking in. We know Wink Martindale is one of the most creative and chaotic and disrupting defensive coordinators in the NFL. We know the exotic blitz schemes and blitz fronts and different formations that he likes to use on the defensive line. And having the Giants go through that in practice, I think is definitely, like Emery is saying, helping them go up against other defenses. What I will push back a little bit on is no other defense in the preseason is really going to be too extravagant in their schemes and diverse and exotic in preseason because you don't want to show too much on tape. You're keeping it pretty vanilla. So I get what he's saying for sure. I think what he's trying to say is that this defense, and he is saying that, he says Wink's challenging the O is yielding good results. And I'm 100% on the same page with that. The Giants offense, I want to see the starters play in the preseason against the Jets. I want to see Daniel Jones lead an opening drive touchdown against the Jets once. I think the Jets are going to play the starters. I want the Giants to play the starters. And I want to see Daniel Jones lead a touchdown drive out of the gates. I think that would be really good for his mental. It'd be good for this football team. I think they would get behind him. And that's just good momentum that you want to carry heading into week 1 of the regular season versus the Tennessee Titans. Other notes from practice, the back shoulder fade is back. That was something that Jason Garrett and Joe Judge really didn't believe in. The back shoulder fade, kind of like Eli used to throw all the time, where you're running the fade route and the DB's on top of you, so you don't just throw it to where the DB's going to get it. You put it on their back shoulder, like the Aaron Rodgers to Jordy Nelson, or the Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams. He's one of the best ever at the back shoulder fade. You see Tom Brady throwing it to Gronk. It's an efficient throw, and sometimes you get those penalty flags on that downfield, and I know you don't throw passes to get flags, but that's just the nature of the beast. You put the ball out there in a 50-50 spot to a guy like Kenny Golladay or Colin Johnson on a back shoulder, the DB is in a tough spot to make a play on that ball. If thrown correctly, in my opinion, it's one of the most unstoppable plays in the NFL. I'm going to get a sip of water here real quick. This is definitely not a video at the studio. Getting some water midway. But I like it. I like it's a little more relaxed. I know the graphics are cool and all, but we get to just chop it up, and that's what it's about. The offense looked good. The back shoulder fade is back. What's your confidence level in the Giants offense? I do want to ask you guys that real quick before we transition to stop talking about the offense a little bit. Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 being you're not confident. 10 you're being really confident. Let me know how you're feeling in the comment section right now. Some other injury news. Wan'Dale Robinson is apparently dealing with something because he's not practicing in team reps. And here he is with Darius Slayton not running team laps and getting to work in another way. Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson are doing the bicycle ab workout on the sideline. Pat Leonard with that tweet. So it looks like Wan'Dale Robinson and Slayton are kind of dealing with something and not participating in contact drills. Let me see if I see anything else from practice that I was talking about. Overall, a good day for the Giants. Brian Daboll said it was a good day. David Sills talked about it. He said he thought it went well. He talked about having a good day, 6 catches. Daniel Jones looked good. Saquon looked good as well. He had a couple of highlights. That's what you like to see. I think you don't play Saquon in the preseason. But overall, joint practice went good. Offenses looked really good. So let's talk about We'll talk about OBJ, and then we'll talk about the roster moves from yesterday. So OBJ was on Twitter or Instagram, and he posted something, and somebody commented and said, "Come back to New York. We need you ASAP, no Rocky." And Odell Beckham said, "That was fire," with 2 fire emojis. And he said, "We'll see. I do miss my damn squad. Wanted to win a ring for that city." He said, "We'll see. I do miss my damn squad. I wanted to win a ring for that city so bad." And I love Odell Beckham. I know there's probably some people that are tuning out of the video right now that don't want to hear about Odell Beckham. But you know what? If Odell Beckham's talking about the Giants, we're going to talk about him on this show. What he did with the New York Giants, if you just go back and look at it, his rookie season, in just 12 games, 91 grabs, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. His second season, 15 games, 96 touchdowns, 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns. And then in his third season, 101 grabs, 1,300 yards, and 10 receptions. He might have been, the first 3 years of his career, you could have argued that he was a top 10 player in the NFL outside the quarterback position. But why are we talking about this? Because Odell Beckham is a free agent still battling back from that ACL injury that he suffered during the Super Bowl. Giants have had some injuries at receiver. Colin Johnson, Sterling Shepard's back. He's boys with Odell Beckham. Do I think it happens? Probably not. But, hey, I think it's different kind of thing we're hearing from Odell because the past couple of months, he's taken some jabs-ish at the Giants' old regime and talked about how they kind of burned a bridge. And for him now to talk like, maybe we'll see. I miss those guys. I miss it. I wanted to win one for the Giants. That was pretty cool in my opinion. Odell, it's cool to see him get a ring. It sucked to see him get hurt. I hope he comes back. I don't think he signs anywhere. Probably until midway during the season. Towards ACL, and what was that? When's the Super Bowl? February, early February. So that's month 2 of the year. 9-10 months, come back November, December, hop on a team that's winning. I think it could probably be the Rams again. Go get you another ring, play good, and he'll get you a contract. The Giants are in the race down the stretch, and we're a wide receiver away, and injury happens, go sign him, for sure. But I think he wants to play for a contender. I could see him one day maybe playing for the New York Giants again, but who knows. If you want to see Odell play for the Giants, maybe this year, 5 years from now, whenever. If you ever want to see OBJ play for the Giants again, I want you to type OBJ in the comments section. Alrighty, we're going to get on out of here. Actually, we do have some roster moves from yesterday I do want to talk about. Jump the gun a little bit. And we had some roster moves today. The Giants signed tight end Tanner Hudson. He's played 22 games in 3 seasons for the Bucs and 49ers. Makes him the old head in the Giants tight end room. That's from Jordan Renan. The Giants also cut center Chris Owens to create that roster spot. The Giants also put Jordan Akins on injured reserve yesterday, as well as Marcus Kemp went on injured reserve. And the Giants, we talked about it yesterday, but they claimed 2 Three guys: Bailey Gather, a wide receiver; Jalen Moore, a wide receiver; and DB Harrison Hand off of waivers. I think those guys are just bodies, so you can play this Sunday against the New York Jets. Not sure any of those guys are really going to compete for a roster spot. Maybe a guy like the tight end they signed today, though, Tanner Hudson, he may compete just because how thin that tight end room is. Stinks to see Jordan Akins go to injured reserve. Was hoping to see him get some game time action, but it's the nature of the beast in the NFL, playing a collision sport. People are going to get hurt. So on today's show, we talked about joint practices, Azeez Ojulari, a lot of stuff, an at-home video. I know it's not as visually appealing. I think it's cool content, though. I wanted to get you guys a video no matter what. I appreciate everybody that made it this far in the video. We're probably 15 minutes are in so far. And if you're made it this far, I want to do this. Everyone that comments real one on this video, you only know because if you made it till the end, comment real one in the comment section, and I'll give you a shout out. Get your name up on screen, picture up on screen next time I'm in studio later this week and get you guys on a video. Comment real one if you're a real one, and we'll see you guys later. I appreciate you. Go Giants.